Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome. My name is Sadhana, and I am back with the card of the year readings. And I didn't quite complete the previous reading. So before I get into the reading for the wheel, I'm going to go back to the cards for Hermit card. And I apologize for that. So let's just go back to the table and look at the cards. I cut and drew the card from the Shaman's Oracle. And I've actually had a look at there's poetry that it goes with this particular book, as there is poetry that accompanies the Margaret Peterson Tarot. And I think these two decks marry together so beautifully. And so I want to share with you the poem for the Dancer of Fear. And intuitively, this feels very natural in a year where we are journeying into the unknown. And sitting next to the solidity of other cards, I'm glad that you have this. As I indicated before, you can feel a bit of a push and a pull, a yes and a no, confusion and clarity. And the Dancer of Fear says, I am the Dancer of Fear. I teach you when to move forward and when to retreat, how to consider dangers you may be facing, and when to take risks. To master me is to become stronger, yet I can undermine everything you do if I am allowed to. When I am with you, you may be afraid to move, but I also protect you from the kinds of risk that can bring you to places of greater terror. And as I was saying at the beginning of this particular reading, the experience of feeling, the allowing yourself to feel your way through this journey is going to be very important. So to have time during the week to sit with your feelings, to sit with your experiences of the day are absolutely critical. Okay. All right. So I'm going to shuffle and we're going to reset for the wheel reading. Now let's talk a little bit about the energy of the wheel in general and what that might represent in a chariot year. What would it mean for a change of seasons? What would it mean to be in the flow of life in a chariot year? I think for everyone in a chariot year, there's going to be movement. There will be it's unavoidable. Change will be unavoidable. And so how each of the cards of the year approaches chariot energy will be slightly different, right? So in the previous reading, the focus was more on an inward, a spiritual journey, spiritual development, awakening, and so forth. Whereas in a wheel year, I feel like anything is possible. Everything is possible. And this might also be a year of, if you have been resistant to change, if change is your nemesis, if you're the kind of person who has always preferred to stay in one place, there's going to be big lessons about that this year. Also, the notion of struggle. I would encourage you to really watch vocabulary around change, to to choose words in regards to health, uh, diet, little details that are going on with work. When you hear words such as struggle, um, crisis, to really take some time and make some space for stepping back and looking at big picture change. This is a big wheel. This is a big wheel, and we want to be able to find a centeredness in the center of the wheel so that we can embrace the flow of life. So we're looking for words that are synonymous with flow, with movement. This would also be a year of learning, if you've never done it, how to smudge your house, how to open things up, how to keep energy moving, how to keep energy moving in your physical body, how to keep energy moving in your property. So this is an important word here. This is an important concept. This might also be a great year to learn how to dance or to practice Tai Chi. Chariot underlying the flow of the wheel. Okay, so we really want to learn to embrace that sort of energy. So let's start this reading with Earth, which is the most, I feel, which is the most dense and resistant energy to change. Welcome to everybody. Hi, Patrice, Tamianne, Benj, Michelle Lynn, Hannah. Lovely to have you here. Okay, so your card. Oh, this is very affirming, very affirming. Um, where do I want to go from that? We're going to go here next. Okay, so 9 of Coins. This is one of those gardens where we learn to meditate and I don't know if you've ever seen them, monks raking a garden and they walk around and everything is just so beautiful and so peaceful. This is labyrinth energy. And look how beautifully this 9 of Coins energy looks with that wheel card. This feels really good. Okay. I would even take this to a very mundane level and to do something in your garden like this, to create a sacred space in your garden. This feels like a spiritual. When I look at the 3s, 6, and 9s, I have to see the divinity in those cards as well too. You see the figure sitting there in contemplation of all that they are and all that they have, acknowledging the movement of energy. So that feels really beautiful. Now the mind can be very tricky in this one as well too. Okay. So we have a bit of a rebellion sitting above this. So this is the son of feathers, the son of air, um, who is a little rash, a little impulsive. And so and they will love this underlying chariot energy and want you to go faster, want you to go harder, further, take great, great risks. However, one of the key lessons with the wheel year is one of balance. So when you find yourself, when you find others in your life uh, pulling you, um, egging you on, so to speak, when you find those people who trigger you through harsh language or language that is immensely uncomfortable, come back to your center. Create space, like you see in this card here. Okay. Um, There is always a blessing and a reason for the impetuousness of Son of Feathers energy. It is very, very dynamic. Now, sitting next to Swadhisthana chakra, this feels sexual. This feels, uh, what in the world? So, Swadhisthana chakra. Swadhisthana chakra is the second chakra, the sacral chakra. It is the energy of water. It is the energy of the devil. Um, all right. So let's shift this a little bit. Using the son of feathers as an aspect of yourself to, I feel like maybe this has been something you've always suppressed. I'm not talking about suppressing sex. I'm talking about suppressing impulsivity. The son of feathers is here perhaps for your greater good, but the key is to not go too far. The right of the Swadhisthana chakra is to live in joy, to fully feel. My eye is drawn to the chakra here, the stone in the center of the labyrinth, and this visual here. Just beautiful connection. Welcome to Karen and Donna. Did I say hello to you? Welcome. All right, let's go to Donna's comment here. It's a really good question, Donna. When I think of the Knight of Swords and the knights in general as ones who are on a quest, the and the fact that this is the element of air, there there always is a passion that underlies this. There is an impulsivity. There is perhaps an unconscious awareness of the power of spirit. And Swadhisthana chakra with the element of water perhaps makes it too real. And there is a discomfort with that. And I feel as if this knight perhaps doesn't want to be present in relationship and understand the power of relationship, the power of the healing of relationship. So relationship is deeply is a deep part of Swadhisthana chakra medicine. Um, I didn't answer your question. Would the combination be someone more cerebral and a bit emotionally unavailable? I want to say emotionally naive. Emotionally naive. Yes, yes. And so they would miss the flirtations of, you know how they take a break in Jeopardy and maybe there's a vending machine or they go and get a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. They would miss the flirtatiousness of the co-contestant or something, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So there's an invitation here And it'll be interesting to see what comes up in the suit of water, to be present with emotion. Now, I will read you the poem as well too, because the poems are so beautiful here. Okay, so we have Hunter of Conflict, which is in alignment with this card. And I want to say, uh, perhaps the reason why this particular illustration on the Nine of Coins is so important. And I'm just going to share something with you. Now, I tend to read this oracle a little bit different. There are chakra and elemental associations with each of the tribes in this deck. And the dancer, which we had in the previous one, I tend to associate with Swadhisthana chakra. However, the hunters are connected to the rivers. The hunters are connected to the Swadhisthana chakra. That is the intention here. So I find it kind of uncanny that we have a water card underneath a water element. So there's definitely going to be something about this story that is unfolding. So in terms of change and going with the flow of change, I feel there's a there's a lesson in learning how to manage conflict, right? So let me read you your poem, because these are just too beautiful. I am the hunter of conflict. Though I may seem fierce and intractable, I hesitate to draw my sword, except in defense. Rather, I seek peaceful ways to help you resolve opposition in your life. And while I may use powerful energies of conflict to fuel myself, I do not seek to win victory over others through violence or aggression. I exist to seek out the sources of your inner conflicts and find ways to heal and restore you to a state of wholeness. So, one of the things I would invite you to focus on this year is your perception, a changing perception of what conflict, what irritation means. How you choose to address conflict. Okay, so in the suit of fire, you have the same card as the previous reading, which looks very much, which looks very centered, as does the card in the suit of earth. When things begin to go awry, come back to the center, come back to solitude. I'm almost certain that those relationships that trigger you the most will be the greatest change you will experience this year. Your It can simply be, oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so we have the same card for you here too. So this is a bit of an emotional unraveling, an emotional unraveling, seeing relationship through a new lens. The Daughter of Pentacles will directly challenge all that runs through your mind. The Daughter of Pentacles, um, of course, is very, sorry, not the Daughter of Pentacles, the Daughter of Cups is very comfortable in Swadhisthana chakra. She knows how to feel and she will teach you how to feel. So there's a part of yourself that knows this isn't so strange, you know? Um, I'm going to pull the other two oracles and then weave this together for you. And again, this is the Kantaji oracle that I'm using for cups. And your card is a fork in the river. A fork in the river. An emotional fork in the river. So what I was saying, so if you look, I want you to look at these two cards. This is in the suit of water. Daughters also represent an opportunity for new unfoldings, beginnings, fresh starts. And so perhaps your wheel year is going to shift relationship in a very powerful way. Thank you, Donna. Very fitting that emotionally you have that fork in the road card. And then look, we have a wheel. We have a wheel on this card as well, too. Gosh, it's been ages since I've used this oracle. What we're looking at here is a crone, is a wise one who has a massive collection of everything around them. And through all of their experience, look at the halo around the head. Where's my chopstick? Okay, where do I want to go with this? Look at this energy flow here. So this energy flow is in the garden. It's in the labyrinth. It's in the earth. You sit here in contemplation of that. Look at how two cards mirror each other. This could represent all of your belongings and all that you are. And here, so what is this saying in terms of fire, for foundation, drive, and will? I don't know what you're sensing, but I'm feeling that through the shifting perspective, the change in relationship, there will be a simplification of sorts that takes place. The wrestling that you experience between your mind and your emotions, it is imperative that um, it is grounded. Okay, I just want to go to Hannah. Um, where are we here? All right. uh, balancing while flowing the flow, the movement of the wheel. There's a bit of a conflict here, though. Um, and I know this is not a Four of Pentacles card, and we're seeing a light, a sunrise, an opening, a growth through a powerful foundation. This person is outdoors. It's, yes, they have a lot of stuff, but they're not attached to it. It's almost as if these material possessions, uh, if they're seen as sacred objects that are not, hmm, you may be releasing physical objects as well as relationships, as well as attachment to relationships, as well as attachment to physical objects that are attached to relationships. And so I want to use the teacup as an example because I think the teacup for me was just such a perfect. Um, so change and loss. And I think of grandmothers and aunties and all the teacups, bone china teacups I collected over the years. Funny bone collector, bone china teacup. Um, and listening to grandmothers and aunties talk about their teacups and the patterns and the stories of the teacups and where they came from. Were they wedding gifts or were they passed down? And so there's sentimental attachment to material objects. And I feel that part of this year is a deeper understanding of the relationship of the emotional attachment to stuff. And this is such a beautiful card. So it's like there's this conflict between heart and earth. A fork in the road is such a great supporting card for the flow. So the medicine here is in the continuation of the flow, the honoring of the flow, whether that is something as gentle as creating a mindfulness garden or something a little more active. Remember that supported by the chariot, change is inevitable. And the best advice is to keep going forward. Okay. Thank you. And once again, clarification, questions, comments, please leave those later in the comments below. I will see you shortly for the next video.